Now we continue our special series on rethinking college with a look at graduate students who pay little or even nothing for a top 10 master's degree program. Hari Srinivasan has our report. It's part of our weekly segment, Making the Grade.
It's graduation day, and these two students are earning their computer science master's degree from a top 10 program in the country. But it's the first time they've ever visited campus.
This whole experience was very surreal. I mean, this was my first time on campus being here. The energy in this room was crazy.
Students Vanessa Anderson and Miguel Morales did all of their coursework for Georgia Institute of Technology online. Neither live in Georgia.
I'm going to be working in autonomous systems, and it's a dream job.
And a job which pays. The average starting salary for Georgia Tech's master's degree graduates is $150,000. This spring, 64 students earned their computer science master's degree on campus, but 212 earned them online.
The degree is the same on the transcript, it's the same on the diploma, there's no distinction whatsoever.
Charles Isbell, a senior associate dean for Georgia Tech's College of Computing, helped design the online master's program.
It's about accessibility. We see that we can get many more people who don't look like the traditional folks that we have coming on campus.
In fact, online students are typically older and have full-time jobs. Online, there are nearly twice as many students of color than on campus, and while Isbell insists the quality of learning is equal for the two programs, he points out one key difference: cost.
There's a huge difference in price. So for our on-campus degree, it's somewhere north of $42,000 a year. For the online degree, it's $6,600 for the entire degree.
So if the experience is the same, how can you deliver a product at $6,600 that you're delivering at $42,000?
Well, there's two big things. The first is we don't have to pay for buildings. We don't have to build new classrooms. But the really big difference is scale. So we have about 4,500 students in the program compared to the 400 or so that we have on campus.
A recent Harvard study of Georgia's online masters concluded that the combination of a top 10 program offering a traditional degree and significant cost savings has created a whole new consumer market in higher education.
Just made the code changes in here.
For some students, tuition is actually free. That's because many companies offer their full-time employees tuition reimbursement. Student Nika Montford is a data integrator for General Motors Innovation Center in Roswell, Georgia.
Every GM employee gets $8,500 to spend in higher education every year, and so it falls well within the $8,500 that we get.
After 2.5 years studying online, Montford plans to graduate this December.
I'm focusing on the social computing aspect, social media and the social landscape. I'm really interested to see where I can take it as it expands and as it grows and kind of be on the leading edge.
Master student Ebony Bell, a product software engineer for AT&T, is also taking advantage of tuition reimbursement.
I knew I wanted to get my master's, and I also knew that I wanted to have a company that paid for it because I did not want to go into even more student loan debt.
Bell would like to start her own company, using technology to help solve societal problems like obesity and diabetes.
I'm interested in interactive intelligence and how can we leverage artificial intelligence, leverage data itself to change the world.
The problem is not that the game is repeated.
But does learning suffer when the human connection found in physical classrooms is missing? Isbell says no.
If you're on the 4th row, the 5th row, the 27th row, you're about as close to me as someone who's online, right? You're not really getting the face-to-face interaction.
Ebony Bell agrees. In fact, she says, the way our culture thinks about a classroom should be reconsidered. Evolving technology, she says, allows her to keep in constant contact with classmates.
We communicate daily through chat. We communicate through Google Hangout, through video conferencing. We email each other back and forth.
However, Bell says answers from teaching assistants are not as immediate.
I have to go to this online discussion, type my question, and then wait for a response. And usually the response isn't no more than a day, but even the fact that I have to wait for a day. Whereas if I'm in the classroom, I raise my hand and I get immediate feedback.
That's where Georgia Tech professor Ashok Goel comes in. A professor of computer and cognitive science, Goel created an artificial intelligence tool to help answer questions for the 4,500 online master's degree students.
And this is Jill Watson.
That's right.
What does Jill do?
Jill is an artificial intelligence TA. So as students ask questions, Jill gives answers to those questions.
Why is there a need for an artificial intelligent TA?
That's a very good question. So what happens is that students who are highly motivated, highly engaged, they ask thousands of questions. Some of this can be delegated to an artificial intelligent TA, thereby relieving the professor to answer more creative questions, more open-ended questions.
So you're saying let the artificial intelligence deal with the easy ones and let the humans deal with the hard ones.
That's right, yeah.
We don't really notice who's answering our questions as long as they're giving us the best answer. It doesn't need to be a human.
But she still sees an important role for professors.
We need professors, we need people that are going to help motivate us still in the class and help us understand why we're even taking the class.
Not all courses can go online like this.
Why not?
There have to be things that a campus experience provides. Otherwise, why would we have campuses at all?
Well, we have campuses because we didn't have online education 150 years ago, right? Students have to feel they're a part of that community. They have to feel engaged. That's what you get being on a campus. You get to meet people, you get to build friendships. You still get to do that online if you provide the support for the students.
We all have the same goal. We want to do well, we want to succeed. And so bringing that all together, we find ways to make it work.
In Atlanta for the PBS NewsHour, I'm Hari Srinivasan.